At the age of 74, a legendary guitarist from one of the world's most controversial rock bands just shattered decades of silence, unleashing a storm of accusations that are sending shockwaves through the music industry. Mick Mars, the enigmatic co-founder of Motley Crue, has finally spoken out about his bandmate Vince Neil, and what he revealed is far more explosive than any fan could have imagined. This isn't just about a band breaking up, it's about betrayal, hidden truths, and the ultimate price of fame. Stick around, because the story behind these revelations is about to be fully unveiled, exposing secrets that will change how you see this iconic band forever. Mick Mars recently dropped a bombshell, filing a lawsuit against Motley Crue and, in a candid interview with Rolling Stone, confirming long-held suspicions about the band's live performances. He boldly stated that he had carried this band on my shoulders for years, a clear jab at his former bandmates, particularly Vince. Mick directly claimed that most of Vince Neil's live vocals had to rely heavily on backing tracks to compensate for vocal weaknesses, a devastating blow to the band's carefully crafted image and a claim long whispered by fans, now confirmed by one of the band's very own founding members. Significantly, Mick openly revealed that his painful decision to leave the group stemmed from feeling deliberately pushed out and no longer respected by the very team he had devoted his entire career to. This contradicted the popular narrative that his departure was solely due to his deteriorating health. Mick vehemently stated, "No, I'm touring until I cannot move anymore," dismissing the idea that his health was the sole reason and asserting that he felt disrespected. The tension only continued to escalate when, during a radio appearance in early 2024, Mick was directly asked about Vince's current singing ability. Choosing a painfully concise response, Mick simply uttered, "It is what it is." This stark remark was immediately seized upon by international media, from major news outlets to passionate fan communities, as undeniable evidence of his profound disappointment, perhaps even a sense of helplessness, in the face of irreversible changes in the artistic relationship between the two longtime collaborators. Mick Mars also candidly shared that he genuinely preferred the period when John Corabi replaced Vince Neil in the early 1990s, describing it as more musical, more passionate. This marked the very first time Mick publicly acknowledged such a significant difference in professional spirit and dedication between Vince and the other members, especially during that specific era. Beyond his professional critiques, Mick also spoke emotionally about feeling deeply betrayed after the group's final tour, stating that no one in the band made any effort to contact him afterward, leaving him feeling utterly abandoned. For a man who had notoriously always chosen silence and privacy over public conflict, Mick Mars's decision to finally speak up was momentous. He explained that he simply could no longer tolerate the mounting injustices he perceived within the group, feeling compelled to reveal the truth as he saw it. This unprecedented outburst quickly fractured public opinion, splitting fans into two distinct camps. Many comments across social media platforms passionately argued that Vince Neil's vocal abilities had indeed severely declined, lamenting that this decline was now dragging down the entire image and legacy of Motley Crue. The remaining members of the band responded to Mick's accusations with varying degrees of defense and dismissal. Nikki Sixx publicly called the situation regrettable, appearing to take a somewhat sympathetic but firm stance. Tommy Lee largely avoided directly answering the difficult questions, maintaining his characteristic silence on such matters. Vince Neil, however, directly counterattacked, somewhat comically claiming that Mick's offbeat guitar playing actually prevented him from singing better, attempting to shift the blame. Every single detail, public statement, and escalating controversy, both within and outside the group, made it unmistakably clear that what was once a carefully guarded secret had now exploded into the hottest, most debated topic in American rock circles. Mick Mars, the quiet force who once famously chose to stay far away from all conflicts and drama, had finally, definitively spoken out, igniting an unprecedented public debate over crucial aspects like talent, loyalty, and the often hidden truth behind the glamorous spotlight of rock stardom. The unfolding story of Mick Mars and Vince Neil doesn't just end with these tense and public statements, it also brings direct and potentially lasting consequences for the band's image and its hard-earned legacy, now being re-evaluated by fans and critics alike. With the long-standing silence now shattered, audiences are beginning to gain the most honest and unflinching glimpses into Vince Neil's tumultuous journey to becoming a true rock icon. It's a path filled with undeniable glory and meteoric rise, but also riddled with profound personal turbulence, dark chapters, and self-destructive choices, a complex narrative soon to be fully revealed as the layers are peeled back. The rise of Vince Neil to stardom began in 1981, a pivotal year when he fatefully met Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx at a local show. According to several band members, a consensus quickly formed: Vince was the only individual truly capable of transforming this fledgling, raw group of musicians into a genuine, unstoppable phenomenon that would captivate the masses. Mick Mars himself once succinctly stated that Vince was the missing piece of Motley Crue, recognizing his unique appeal. The critical decision to bring Vince into the band completely changed its trajectory, setting it on a path to unprecedented success. Just 1 year after their electrifying debut, Motley Crue made an immediate and major impact on the American rock scene with their seminal first album, Too Fast for Love, which showcased their raw energy and distinctive sound. The potent combination of Vince's soaring, distinctive vocals, Mick's razor-sharp, innovative guitar riffs, and Tommy Lee's explosive, wild drumming truly set the band apart from their peers, forging a unique identity in a crowded genre. By 1983, their follow-up album, Shout at the Devil, had become a commercial juggernaut, selling over 4 million copies in the United States alone and receiving an astounding 4 platinum certifications, cementing their rising star status. Subsequent albums, including Theater of Pain, 1985, Girls, 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 1987, and especially the monumental Dr. Feelgood, 1989. Consistently ranked high on the charts, firmly establishing Motley Crue as one of the top-selling and most influential rock bands of the entire decade, dominating airwaves and arenas. Vince Neil's image during this period became utterly synonymous with the quintessential glam rock aesthetic, his signature blonde hair, undeniably charismatic performances, and the very height of flamboyant, over-the-top style. Massive tours such as Monsters of Rock in 1988 and the incredibly successful Dr. Feelgood World Tour attracted hundreds of thousands of screaming fans worldwide, unequivocally turning Vince into a global rock icon, revered in both the United States and Europe, a true symbol of the era. At their absolute peak, official records indicate that Motley Crue boasted an astonishing 7 platinum or multi-platinum albums, garnered multiple prestigious Grammy nominations, and proudly won the American Music Award in 1990 for their magnum opus, Dr. Vince Neil became further engulfed in controversy, facing renewed scrutiny and a sharp decline in public perception regarding his performance abilities, as the accusations against him gained traction. In his most recent, unfiltered statements, Mick Mars has stopped hiding his profound life philosophy: live your life to the fullest and never let anyone decide it for you. For him, everything he experienced with Motley Crue is now simply a painful memory, a chapter closed. And the greatest lesson he learned is the profound importance of knowing how to protect one's own intrinsic value and artistic integrity, even from those closest to you. For Vince Neil, although he has never openly admitted defeat or acknowledged the validity of Mick's claims, his continued silence and his increasing avoidance of the media strongly point to a growing and increasingly profound sense of isolation and perhaps even regret, or at least a realization of the weight of public opinion. What ultimately remains after more than 4 decades together is a truly monumental musical legacy, one that defined a generation, yet tragically also a series of deeply unresolved conflicts that continue to haunt the band's narrative. As all these internal disputes are finally, painfully brought to light, the complex and intertwined story of Mick Mars and Vince Neil transcends a mere band breakup. It becomes a powerful wake-up call not only for aspiring artists but also for an entire generation of rock fans about the often unforeseen price of fame, the fragility of loyalty, and the ultimate truth behind the dazzling spotlight. After all, this incredibly public farewell has forever changed how the public perceives both individuals, as well as the very lasting legacy Motley Crue leaves for the annals of American rock music. The tumultuous journey between Mick Mars and Vince Neil is not just the story of a legendary rock band. It is a profound lesson on the immense price of success, the sting of betrayal, and the enduring, testing power of loyalty in the realm of art. When every secret is finally revealed, the true value of music and camaraderie becomes even more thought-provoking and complex. What do you think about these shocking truths behind the spotlight of Motley Crue? Share your thoughts below in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold stories and deep dives from the fascinating, often turbulent, world of rock music.